Hey everybody, welcome to our third video on the different Alice in Wonderlands. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave.
And so far we talked about the Disney version and the 1933 Hollywood version. Today we're going to be talking about the 1972 British version entitled Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It features some of Britain's great talents from the past like Peter Sellers as the March Hare, Dudley Moore as the Dormouse, Michael Crawford's in here as the White Rabbit, and Fiona Fullerton plays Alice in this film. Well, Dave, I gotta admit, so far watching all these different versions, it's kind of interesting to compare them and see what they do different, like in the beginning and all that.
Yeah, the beginning of this, I enjoyed the beginning of this one because it had more than just Alice and her sister. It had Alice and two of her sisters, and then there was the guy playing Lewis Carroll.
Because in the beginning, they're going to on a picnic, and Lewis Carroll's about ready to tell the story of Alice in Wonderland to them. So that was kind of a nice, interesting thing, but. Overall, this movie, I gotta say, I complained about the 1933 version being a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
This version, I thought, was probably the slowest Alice in Wonderland I've seen. I mean, I thought there was too much dialogue taken from the book that we didn't really need. There's when Alice is chasing the rabbit, she stops and all of a sudden and looks around at the giant flowers, and I thought that wasn't needed. And there's a lot of dialogue of her talking to herself in the big room later on. So I think the problem was mostly the editing. They kept too much in there, and as a result, I felt like it slowed a lot down.
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't edit this well at all, and they left everything in that they filmed.
The plus side, I thought Fiona Fullerton made a good Alice. I mean, they go for a teenage Alice as opposed to a much younger one. Fiona Fullerton, I thought, was a decent singer when she had to sing numbers, and the special effects for their time I thought was very good. And I thought the Mad Tea Party scene and the performers came off the best, especially Peter Sellers as the March Hare. He actually does good. He takes liberties to do some crazy things with his faces and body movements, and he can really get into the character. But for me, the downfall for this movie, I thought, were the songs. I mean, they were okay, some of them, but I don't think Alice could be made into a musical.
No, there was like way too much singing. It just got annoying. Alice had to sing about everything, and then it was real annoying when the Mad Hatter and Alice were arguing and they were singing at the same time. That got real annoying.
Yeah, I think, what kind of made up for that were the costumes. I thought the costumes were really good here. Very faithful to the book.
The only thing was they looked the same as the old Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe costumes from the 80s release.
Another thing, the problem I think was also, other than the songs, which sadly was done, well, the thing is they were done by Don Black and John Barry, and they wrote some of the best James Bond songs from the 60s. Here, these songs just weren't very good, and another problem I had with it was the direction. This film was directed by a guy named William Sterling, and I looked at his credits on Internet Movie Database earlier today, and this was the only script that he's written according to it, and this is the only feature film he directed. He hasn't done anything since, but up to that point, he was a TV producer producing a lot of things, so I think he was the wrong person to go for this, because I think that he didn't do a good job guiding some of the actors. I think Peter Sellers and Spike Milligan as the Griffin brought more life, but most of them felt like they were just reciting the dialogue and they weren't being guided better. And I think he was being just too faithful to the book, because if you're being too faithful to it, I mean, making a good film of it doesn't mean you have to take everything out of it. You can take what you think works, because a lot of people say Alice in Wonderland is one of the most unfilmable books of all time, and it could be argued that way, but this was just too faithful to it, in my opinion. It was just so slow, because this movie's 95 minutes, and you told me that when we were done, you felt like you were waiting for 3 hours.
Because of all the singing and all the just how slow it went.
Yeah, there were too many songs in this movie, in my opinion. I think they could have got rid of it. Like, I remember every time she was about to sing a song, you're like, oh, she's gonna sing again.
Another problem I had was like during the croquet game, it went so fast you couldn't even keep up with it.
Yeah, a lot of these scenes were poorly staged. I don't know if I could recommend this film to Alice Pierce, because I remember when I was watching this with my younger sister, she was bored by it and she walked out before the Queen of Hearts scene. So I don't know if I could recommend this version. I mean, maybe, and here's the thing. I think this movie is in the public domain because I've seen a lot of different cheap DVD companies offer it, and the print, I got this from Walmart for $1, and the print is very bad. There's all these specs, and the film breaks at one point and muddled sound. So if you're gonna get this, be careful which version you rent. Unfortunately, I don't know which version to recommend because I do know there's at least one version where the picture is clear, but unfortunately, I don't know which company offers it right now. So I don't.
The one that sells it for more than $1. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would recommend this to people because I do think it's a bit slow. But I don't know. What do you think?
I'd say no. I'd rather recommend like the 33 or the Disney version compared to this.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, that's our video for this week. Feel free to leave any comments as usual. We do read everything you give us, and if you've seen this video, seen the 1972 version, go ahead and leave your comments on that and what you thought, or comments about the video. So we'll see you next time, right, Dave?
Right.
Okay, see you later.